Oh, sorry. Okay, I think we got the shot. Okay. Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here, and today I'm with Christopher at the Bricker Builds booth, surrounded by all of their incredible builds that they have on display and available to the public. Christopher will be giving kind of a behind the scenes of how he and some of the other team members here at Bricker Builds design these models and what goes into this. But before we launch into that, why don't you give kind of a brief overview of what Bricker Builds is and kind of what you do here?
Sure, yeah. Well, like you said, we make these life-size Lego models. We make Star Wars helmets. We make anything from SpiderMan to our life-sized Italian plumber, as we call him. And yeah, we'll just design these with various designers around the world. In Australia, we have a great designer, two great designers in there. Yeah, and for these Star Wars helmets, we actually wrote the software and used proprietary software to us to sculpt them and then, yeah, create what you're seeing.
So there's so much more than just the Lego building itself that goes into what you guys do at Bricker Builds.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of sculpting, a lot of, yeah, it's an art, I would say.
Yeah, that's very impressive. So we can start with these Star Wars helmets then. Take us through kind of some of the different designs that are represented here.
Sure, yeah, so these are actually the latest helmets we came out with. They're the Bad Batch from the Star Wars TV show on Disney+. A couple interesting features. So we typically go brick built, so a lot of exposed studs. But you'll notice on some of these details here, we'll use some snot techniques to get some interesting things you wouldn't be able to capture quite as authentically with basic brick and plate. And then some other interesting details, I'll just pick it up here. So on the back, you can see we've got, we're using some slopes to give some nice little lined details that you see on the helmet. And something that people always ask me, and this is the very first time I tried this was at this convention, do not try this at home. But everyone asks me, can you wear the helmet? And for this helmet in particular, the answer is technically yes.
Oh, look at this. That looks great.
And I cannot take my hands off of it because there are very sharp pieces up in there, and that would be a very uncomfortable helmet to wear, actually. But
it goes great with the Bricker Builds shirt.
Yeah, thank you. Something interesting about this one, you'll notice it's entirely brick and plate. This was before we added any special details. And on the bottom here, so I showed you I could wear the last one. This one is very much not wearable. But yeah, so we started with that. We moved on to Captain Rex. This is actually the second iteration of Captain Rex. The original one didn't have any detailing with specialty pieces, but now you can see it's got some special bricks and plates, some tiles, some techniques here to make sure that these stay in place, but they're also at the interesting angle. You can see this visor doesn't really match the look of the newer visors.
Right.
So this is his old helmet that he welded together, and these are kind of the welding marks of the new helmet to his old one. So a little interesting history there. But
right, yeah, no, that's good to know.
Yeah, and so continued iterating. This is a midway iteration through this. Obviously you can't put your head through this, but it's a lot more brick efficient. So as we've gone, we've been trying to make sure that all of our builds cost the least amount we can, because we do sell the instructions online. And so that way people can grab their parts on Bricklink and they're not spending crazy amounts of money on the bricks.
One thing I love about this design over here is the like hash marks on the side there. I think that just gives such a neat, like different look to that one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really like this technique. It's fun.
No, that works very well there. And let's see, what do we have here at the very end? We've got, Are these the same helmet in different scales?
They are. So this is Commander Cody. We have the half scale helmet. This is half of life sized. And then the full scale helmet you'll see up there. Obviously with the full scale, we're able to add a few more extra details because of the extra working space we have. But yeah, I think this is probably my favorite model I've designed because the scale, I really like the colors of Cody's helmet and the way that translates to Lego. Yeah, I really like that helmet.
The orange works so well there. Yeah, I agree. It really makes it stand out. Then what do we have? Some more Star Wars themed. We're kind of moving away from just the clones.
Yeah, definitely. So this is kind of the Empire era. So we have Boba Fett and a massive Darth Vader. This is a step in a direction for Bricker Builds where we got a lot more brick efficient. And you'll notice, see on the dome of Darth Vader here, it's actually entirely brick, which on the helmets is typically bricks and plates. And so for Darth Vader, since he's all black, adding that extra detail with plates adds a cost for our customers of like probably $100 or $200. And the brick sculpting really just looks great as is. And so what we'll do is in the important details like the mask area, that's what will add on in all the plating details. And actually, you can kind of see some sand on here. Our photographer, Adam, who shoots all of our content on Instagram, took this out to the beach in Florida and got some amazing shots, but that's why you see all that sand there.
You took him out to the sand, but he doesn't like sand. You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, you're right. Well, did we play to that? We should have. That would have been amazing. And then, yeah, so we have the Scout Trooper. Yeah, he's actually the least popular model on our site, which is surprising, but yeah,
buy more of those, bring the numbers up. He deserves some recognition.
Yeah, so I can show you some cool details on here. So on the back, we've got some snot techniques to bring those breathers in. We've got little details. Something that I didn't notice is that the Scout Trooper has this emblem on the left side, and when I originally designed it, put it on both sides. Apparently it's only on one.
Okay.
So we got it right, but only after a few iterations.
That brings up an interesting question. How do you research all of these in terms of making sure you've got all those little different details, like 360 degrees all the way around?
Yeah, so typically I'll do a ton of research on Google. I'll go to Google Images, look up all the images I can find. Typically I'll have to sift through some, cosplay photography that may not be as accurate. Try to find all of the actual movie appearances, and then we'll typically download a digital 3D file, run that through the software that we made, and that'll kind of give us a more accurate representation in Lego. From there, we can use sculpting tools and tweak it from there, and yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah, very impressive. So we'll keep moving down through the booth here, kind of away from some of the Star Wars stuff. What do we have in this section?
Yeah, so we have some of the more popular models over here. So we have Eevee. This is the cute little Pokemon this is the second Pokemon we ever did. It was designed by Dave Holder. He's an amazing Australian Lego designer. And you'll see we had a Master Ball that we just released to the website. This is probably one of my favorite techniques that we got in there because, it's not even, I can actually show you. Is this the glued one? We glue some of our models for conventions, and this is a glued one. So I can't show you how it works, but get the instructions on our website and find out.
Also works very well for juggling.
Yes, as we just saw.
Multi-purpose.
Yes, we can probably see some flecks of blood over here.
Don't try this at home either.
Yeah, don't try that at home, that's for sure.
What do we have over here then?
Yeah, so we've got Mudkip, the water Pokemon, the water type Pokemon. And we just released, we did not release, but we just announced here at Brickfest our Turtwig model and our Piplup model, which I'm so excited to bring these to the website. They're super cute. Let me actually step back here and show you a detail that I really like. On Piplup here, obviously, his wings can flap. And if you can see it, his mouth opens up and he's got a tongue, and you can close his mouth and open it. And then he's got a little bow tie. You can take the bow tie off if you want to display him without it. And a very hidden detail that I really like is this tail. I just think it's phenomenal. Again, designed by Dave Holder from Australia. Really phenomenal job he did.
Yeah. Even as a non-Pokemon fan myself, who knows nothing about it, I can appreciate these are very adorable looking models here, and I can see why people would want to have them on display.
I really like the color choices too. I mean, obviously it's the way the Pokemon appear, but I just think they look so nice together.
Yeah, and the colors, yeah, they're so colorful, compared to say a lot of the maybe Star Wars stuff that's just very white or black or gray.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's exciting. So I'm glad you're continuing to push the boundaries and more of that stuff. Then we've got another Pokemon here as well.
Yes, we got Pikachu, and we're displaying him on the left, so we actually flipped his tail around. You can see the tail is actually usually supposed to go that way, but it looked better this way. Anyways, this is the very first Pokemon we did on our website. Entirely yellow, and a fun fact about this one, we started selling this in February, and we sold so many of these things that you cannot find brand new 1x4 yellow bricks on Bricklink because I think there's about 500 of them in this one, and so if people want to build this now, they have to get that from Pick a Brick because they're just completely dried up.
Yeah, I know Brickmania has the same issue. It's amazing how these Lego-related companies, you release kits and then all of a sudden no one can find bricks.
Right. It's a problem.
And then the big Mario here as well.
Yes, the Italian plumber.
Sorry, Italian plumber.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure I don't offend anyone.
Right. So this one, absolutely massive. Some interesting details. He's got the cool little mustache here. Again, Dave Holder design here. I can kind of give you a 360
Yeah.
view. So this one, actually, Brian Saviano was kind enough to bring this so we could display it. So this is his build that you saw up on the Beyond the Brick channel earlier.
Right, so if anyone has not seen Brian's video, you should check that out and get his full thoughts and review on this. It is spectacular looking there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it really turned out well.
How long does it take to build some of these? If I remember correctly, Brian, I want to say it said it was like 30 hours or something like that?
Yeah, I think he said 24,
was it
25 hours, something like that.
So yeah. It's quite the build experience. If you're
Yeah.
someone who enjoys building, you know, like a lot of people do,
Right.
then you get your money's worth out of this for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's 4,500 bricks, somewhere around there. It's quite a lot. It actually rivals some of our clone helmets because those are brick and plate, and so even the scale is a little bit smaller, but even so, it ends up being around the same amount of bricks.
Okay. So we kind of passed by the Captain American shield earlier
Yeah.
because I wanted to make sure we could fully focus on this here.
Yeah.
So not only does it look fantastic on display,
wanna
but
pick it
go
up?
ahead and demonstrate
Okay,
it. Yeah.
sure. So we have it resting on a guitar stand right now, but as you can see, it is fully wieldable. And it's very strong. Give it a whack.
There we go.
Yeah,
Nice.
it feels good. You can kind of do the Captain America moves, and it's entirely plates. There's a little bit of Technic back here to give it some structure, but for the most part, I guess you can get some close-ups. This is actually not the final version. The one that you get on the website has some better detailing here to make it look a little bit more like a shield, like the shield from the movie.
So you said it's all plates pretty much in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aside from these Technics beams to support the straps, it's all plates.
So is that Technic then strong enough to keep the straps in there and then just the whole thing together? Because you were putting a lot of force on that.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's a fun fact. We're gonna get to it later, but we tested the strength of these things against a wall, and that video is coming to YouTube, the Bricker Builds YouTube, and we got some really interesting footage. We had a slow-mo camera. We got I think it's 1500 FPS, and we just chucked we got a special guest to chuck this thing at the wall. And man, it looks cool. I can't wait to show the footage.
That sounds awesome. Well, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back here and take a look at some of these other models.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is SpiderMan. So this is in the second wave of models we did, so it was really early on. And aside from Mario, this is the biggest thing we've ever designed. And this was designed with the Bricker software that I told you about earlier. So it's entirely brick and plate. I actually painted these lines in with a sculpting tool. And so the lines were painted kind of almost like a brush. And then the software figures out how to integrate that and make it structurally sound.
Okay, so it's able to really help you with the design process then, so you're not having to manually kind of go in and do all that.
Yeah, it makes the design process much more artistic because rather than, you know, if I want the line to be up one plate, if I was doing it freehand, I would have to take it apart, you know, remove the black plate, like insert more, put that back, and then put the plate, and then I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right either, and now I have to do it all over again. As opposed to in the software, you can just paint it, it doesn't look right, repaint it, and then the software handles the rest.
And I like the way that you incorporated kind of the white elements here as well.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the advanced suit from the PS4 and PS5 game. Yeah, and we have a base. I can kind of turn it here for you. It's so a mishap happened on the way here. I don't know if you can see right here. We pushed a little too hard in the top of the neck, and there's a hole through here, but you can't really see it, so
Right.
it works for display. But
No, the stand is really nice because then it feels almost like a 3D, like it's popping. He's
Yeah.
really like jumping out at you.
that was an interesting design challenge because, yeah, this thing really honestly doesn't look like it could support the weight of this thing because this has got to be, this is like 8 pounds, I think. Maybe, no, it's got to be like 12 pounds. Anyways, all that is weight resting on this right here. And so the original design was almost half this thick. And so we built it, we've spent, I think, 120 hours. We had a whole bunch of Lego users from the area come and build it with us, and it just didn't stand up. And so
Wow.
we had to buy an entire new one with all these bricks and kind of start from scratch. But yeah,
It turned out nice in the end though.
thank you.
And I even love the way you set up your display here is really nice too. So like the backdrops make the builds pop.
Yeah, thanks. And these banners are awesome. These were ordered by BrickFest for this convention.
Okay.
So yeah, they really pop.
Next to that, we've got the iconic Thor's hammer.
Yes, and this one also fully wieldable. So whenever we do builds like this, our goal is to make sure you can swing them around and have fun with them. So yeah, this thing is, it's hefty. You want to feel it?
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's not, yeah. Definitely has some weight to it.
Yeah, you're worthy.
It's not just a display model.
No,
for sure. That's
right.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's got a simple stand so you can position it in the iconic pose.
What's the inside of that like?
That is a great question. So this one is glued. The one that we're gonna, I might be able to get into it actually.
No, it's fine if it's, I don't want you to like force it.
We'll see. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, there you go.
So this is what it looks like inside. It's got some multicolored parts because I ran out of those plates. But we have some Technic structures that kind of lock this. You'll notice this beam that runs here. It runs all the way down to the bottom of the handle. And there's snot bricks and plates that and brackets that are clipped together with plates. And that's what gives it the strength that it has, and so you can wield it, swing it around. And this one is glued, but even if it's unglued, you can still wield it and swing it around. We just glued it because we were coming to the convention and driving all the way here.
You don't want a van full of broken models
right.
when you
Yes, that would be ideal.
No, that's an awesome looking, yeah, both that and the Spider-Man definitely look fantastic on display. You've got those black stands that really make them stand out as well. Almost like art pieces here. They look so nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then what do we have next to that here?
Yes, this is actually the newest model. We just came out with this 2 weeks ago. And this is the, what do we call it? The Hero Sword.
Hero Sword, there we go.
Yeah, and so you can see we've got the Triforce right here. We've got some cool details on the blade, and then we've got obviously the bracket and the diamond here, or the gem. Yeah, really happy with how this one turned out. This one is glued, and I will say, if you don't glue this one, I wouldn't probably hold it out like this. It'll probably hold, but typically you'll want to hold it like this. And just we have this stand that comes with it as well. So the instructions will come with the black stands that we have. And then we're researching right now how to find a solution to hang this up on the wall, because I think the ultimate display for the Hero Sword would be just, hanging straight up, kind of pointing to the ceiling. It would look so cool.
Some great building techniques in this as well. I mean, you look at the hilt here, and kind of, obviously you've got bricks, upside down, kind of studs not on top type building. You've got these rounded sections.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we were working with Dave for this design, and yeah, absolutely killed it. It's got some serious structural stability. Yeah, all these snot techniques are what give it the shaping that the iconic sword has.
Certainly very iconic there. So how do you decide then what kits you guys are going to do? Obviously, you've got a variety from a lot of different kind of popular IPs and movies and things that are popular right now. Yeah. Is that more of what you plan to do in the future, or how do you kind of decide that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So typically, one of the most important things to us is our Instagram following, because we definitely spend a lot of time, growing that following and interacting with our fans and our followers. And so we'll often put out polls and ask, what are people interested in? Like, do you want the Master Sword? Do you want the Hero Sword? Do you want a brand new Pokemon? Like, which Pokemon do you want? And so from there, we'll kind of take inspiration, and there's some clear winners when people are asking. Bad Batch was a great example. We had dozens of requests for the Bad Batch. Okay. So that's one of the main ways. Another way is, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Dave, our designer from Australia, massive Pokemon fan and Nintendo fan. So we'll just kind of design what we like, and people tend to like it. So.
Fortunately, what you guys like overlaps with what a lot of other people like as well.
Yes, thankfully so, yeah.
Is it hard to know what quantities to make things in when you're first selling a product? Do you ever do pre-orders and pre-sales to get an idea of how much some people are going to buy of it?
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. I didn't even mention this. So we do offer bricks as well for a lot of these models. And so the Hero Sword would be a great example. Typically we'll order obviously, since we're not like Lego, we have to deal with a different cost up front. And so when we're deciding how many to order, it typically has to do with what are we going to have to charge. If it's crazy, we're not going to order. We're going to let people gather it themselves. If we can charge a reasonable price, then we'll stock some inventory. And people love the convenience of having us order the bricks and sort them and pack them and then ship them out to them. So I mentioned earlier that we chucked a bunch of shields at the wall. And this is the result of one of our chucks. So we saved this one because it looked so similar to the Endgame shield where Thanos had broken the shield. And this is the exact result that came as we threw it at the wall. This is exactly how it came. We just picked it up and brought it right to the convention. So
that's amazing to me that it's still this intact after throwing it at the wall.
I know, yeah, it really is. It really is cool. And I think the shield from Endgame, kind of cuts off this way, but if you hold it like this, it looks right.
Yes.
So what we're going to do at the convention that I guess when this is uploaded has already happened is we're going to have people guess how many bricks are still in this thing and then give you a gift card to the website. And
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see that video with the builds being destroyed and
Thanks.
all of that. And the slow-mo should be very good.
Yeah, I can't wait either. I have to wait just like everyone else to see it because our content creator does his thing and then just shows me, so I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking us through all of the builds here. These are spectacular. For people who want to find out more online, where should they check you guys out?
Thank you. Yeah, so we're on brickerbuilds.com. That's where all of our instructions and brick kits are. If you want to check us out on social media, we have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. They're all just at brickerbuilds, so you can search on YouTube or Instagram. Yeah, we'd love to interact with people. We're active on Instagram DMs, so feel free to message us, questions, just to say hey, geek out about something, suggest a product. So yeah.
Do you have plans for more in-person shows? I know we're here at Philly Brick Fest right now, but are there more conventions either later this year or into next year that you plan to attend?
Yes, we will be at, I can't promise this. We are like 98% sure that we're going to be at Brick Fair, Alabama.
Okay, great.
Aside from that, we're going to make it to as many conventions as we can, and especially as conventions invite us, that makes it a lot easier. So we'll see.
Perfect.
We'd love to. Yes, we will be at more conventions.
Sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you go over and check out Bricker Builds and pick up one or multiples of these fantastic builds here. There's so much on display, and they're always releasing more stuff as well, like he was talking about with the Pokemon earlier. So look out for more releases in the future. Thank you. Sorry. The very first one. Okay.
All right, I'm a tall human.
Well, now you know what it feels like.